Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Unchained Patriot. I'm your host, Tim Davis, aka Professor X. One man, one opinion, trying to connect the dots, making sense of it all in this bizarre world. It is Thursday, January 26th, 2023. Now, welcome to my show. I'm going to do a little video, probably under 10 minutes. I'm going to piggyback off a video I did. This will be like a part 2 of it. Continuing between a conspiracy theorist and a mental slave, the brainwash of the masses. Right? Mental slavery. So let me get to it. Let me start off by saying this. When a well-packaged web of lies has been sold gradually to the masses over generations, the truth seems utterly preposterous, and its speaker a raving lunatic. And this is where the brainwashing of the masses and understanding the slave mentality begins. Right? This is a slave mentality. Excuse me. In the initial stages of nearly every recorded tyranny, the saucer-eyed, dumbstruck masses exhibit astonishing and masterful skill when denying reality. The facts behind their dire circumstances and their antagonistic government become the source of a cynical psychological gameplay rather than a source of legitimate concern. Their desperate need to maintain their normalcy bias create a memory and observation vacuum in which all that runs counter to the false assumptions, right? We're seeing it in preconceptions, right? We see it. They disappear forever, folks, right? Let me repeat that. To maintain their normalcy bias, create a memory and observation vacuum in which all that runs counter to their false assumptions and preconceptions disappear forever. It is as if they cannot see the color of the sky or the boot on their face or neck. The concrete world of truth becomes a dream, an illusion that can either be heeded or completely ignored, depending on one's mood at that time. For them, life is a constant struggle of disassociation where the tangibles is not welcomed. And it is one thing to bear witness to the rejection of truth in our time and the oblivious attitudes of many towards the growth of a totalitarianism government. Eventually, though, a second phase of development of this oligarchy arises. And I am at the point, me, one man, one opinion, I'm at the point at which tyranny becomes so blatant that the skeptics have to acknowledge its existence. But after doing so, they choose to rationalize it as a necessary. Yes, there are many out there in this world that will laugh at you, laugh at me, laugh at all of us at the prospect of an Orwellian world that's upon us. Your enslavement, right? That's what I'm talking about, your enslavement. Yes, you are a slave. You are a slave in many ways, whether you believe it or not. You're losing more than half your income to taxes and inflation, stolen by an unaccountable entity that spies on your every move. They can imprison you at any time and tries to force experimental medical procedures on you. They've conditioned you to believe their poison is medicine. They condition you to believe their indoctrination is education. They've conditioned you to believe their propaganda is news, reliable news. But worst of all these things, they've conditioned you to believe those who are aware and awake are your enemy. They made you believe an opposite point of view is your enemy. I know, I get it. But sometimes the chains that prevent us from being free-minded, are more mental than physical. And the hardest chains to break is the one wrapped around your head and wrapped around your mind, which is mental slavery. Mental slavery is the worst kind of slavery. It gives the illusions of freedom, makes you trust, love, and defend your oppressor, while making an enemy of those who are trying to free you or open your minds. You either want to be free or you want to be controlled. There is no in between. There is no in between. Now, to free yourself from mental slavery is to elevate your mind to a higher supreme being. Acknowledging knowledge. Acknowledging knowledge. We are drowning in information while starving for wisdom. And I think we've risked becoming the best informed society that has ever died of ignorance. You ask yourself, did you ever wonder if half the population has been under some kind of spell, some kind of hypnotic spell that didn't work on the rest of us? Doesn't matter what you believe, whether you're a conspiracy theorist, whether you're a mental slave, brainwashed, whatever. But just think of your side of the aisle. Did you ever wonder if half the population has been put under some kind of hypnotic spell that didn't work on the rest of us? I believe that. I could be wrong. You don't need to be a conspiracy theorist to know something ain't right. You don't. The brainwashing is so strong in America. Let me rephrase that. The brainwashing is so strong in America and globally that people actually think they are free simply because they are not currently locked down. Think about it. I'm hoping the day will come, hopefully, in a not too distant future, where those not permanently affected by the brainwashing brought on by the media, big tech, indoctrination centers, public schools, universities, Democratic Party, will rise up eventually against them. And that's all we can hope for. And ask yourself, slavery, what's the definition of slavery? It's stealing 100% of the product of someone's labor, mentally and physically, is the definition of slavery. At what percentage is it that we're not slaves? Right? And the modern slaves I'm talking about, besides mental, because we're all slaves now, but the modern slaves are not in chains. They're mentally in chains, and they are in debt through taxes and some kind of social contract, which I never agreed upon, which I never signed on to, but that's what we're slaves to. And if we don't wake up to it, we're all in for a world of hurt. But anyway, that's my little take, my little part two of are you a conspiracy theorist or are you a mental slave? What are you a victim of? If you like the show, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. Let's get these algorithms up. And leave a comment. Maybe we can talk about this even further. I got plenty of information we could talk about. I just want to get it out there, put it out there, produce it a little bit, get the show going, get this channel going. And I appreciate everything, guys. You know, please hit like, hit subscribe, notification bell. And I'm Tim Davis, a.k.a. Professor X, your new age patriot with a 1776 attitude. Just one man, one opinion, connecting the dots, making sense of it all. I'm going to tune out. God bless you. God bless America. I'll talk to you guys soon. Good night.